We have such a great presentation. If you haven't seen this before, it's so good. Dr. Josie just brings so much goodness, all of her wisdom. She has so much to share. I've seen this presentation, well, something like this many times. Every time I have notes here of other things that I get to add to my routine. I love it so much. I don't think Dr. Josie, you probably all know Dr. Josie. She's a naturopath out of Portland, Oregon. And welcome, Josie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lori.
It's to have you here.
Yes. Wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. Let's just jump in because we have a lot of great stuff to cover. I'm going to screen share. Oh, someone's saying hello from Belgium. How exciting. And
Colorado, Olympia. Good morning, everyone. So cool.
Yay. We got it? All right. So, hi, everyone. We're here with the Wellness Education Series. And this week is the topic we are going to dive into is women's health and hormones. And I know it's a topic many of us love and have worked with a lot because a lot of us are women. And many of us are in that area of the change of perimenopause, leading up to menopause, to post-menopause. But I want everyone to know that everything I'm talking about applies to the whole cycle and everyone, and women in all ages of their menstrual history, and even children. There's something called the 9-year change, and when kids are coming into, and both boys and girls coming into their hormones, there's a lot of support that can be helpful for them, as well as men. And so when I say women and men, I'm talking about biology and physiology. Okay, I'm not going to get into all of the identity stuff. So what I mean is what your anatomical situation is. So our intention today is to educate and empower everyone here with simple, easy support things that are natural and healthy, and not only support your hormones, but have other side benefits that support so many of your other systems into coming into better balance. So let's go through this. I'm quite passionate about it, and Louise or Diane or Asha, there's other people on the call, please jump in and add your tidbits as well if you, as I go through things. Okay, so first starting out, I just want to ground it with all of us to think to ourselves. So why am I here listening? How can this benefit me or someone I love, someone I live with? And thinking kind of on that idea of a scale of 1 to 10, what is your monthly cycle like, your hormone cycle? So when we say this, now I'm focusing in on estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, what we call the sex hormones. These are the ones we think of most when we think of women and hormone balancing. But as you see in a minute, I'm going to show you how all the hormones are involved. And it's not just those sex hormones. But where are you in this situation? Are you in full cycle, having babies, going through your menstruation, all of that? Or are you getting close and things are winding down with perimenopause, where things are kind of really interesting and they're coming down to a close towards menopause, towards post-menopause? We have all these different kind of symptoms. Now, this is just, there's a lot more than what's listed here, but you can see things that you're like, wait, I didn't think that was connected, like blood sugar control or type 2 diabetes. Let's see, even things like fatigue, difficulty losing weight. How is that connected to my women's health hormones? Well, they all are. I know for myself, I have kind of a lot of PMS and bloating and very tenderness and kind of inflammation that comes around my cycle as I'm coming to a close. in terms of what my perimenopause towards menopause looks like, and a lot of different fluctuations with energy and metabolism, losing weight, things like that. Like my body is definitely changing, and it's like, whoa, I want to get used to this more, and how can I support this changing body? All right. So here is a great illustration of a little bit of what I started to speak to, which was we're not just talking about the sex hormones. So if you look down on this body, you can see in the testicles, the ovary, down there where we have estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, those hormones. But we also have this entire system of glands, which is the endocrine system, and it starts in our brain. And we have the pineal gland, we have the thymus and the thyroid. We go down and we have things coming down all the way in here on top of our kidneys called the adrenals. These all work together in concert and have a and are part of what we call I like to call my symphony of hormone balance, because what's happening in your mental emotional life and in your stress, that is directly linked to your sex hormones. People are like, what, really? Yes. So what happens with that adrenal, that is this little gland on top of our kidneys, and it excretes our hormones called cortisol and adrenaline, right? These are our stress hormones. These hormones are directly related to our pancreas that secretes the insulin and things that have to do with our blood sugar control. And that is directly related. It's not directly, they're indirectly and directly related to our estrogen and our progesterone. So how much stress we're under and what's going on with that cortisol and that stress response to what's going on with our, how we're regulating our metabolism and our blood sugar, and then our estrogen and progesterone, all these things link together very specifically in our body. And then we have our liver. Our liver is our hormone that basically filters and metabolizes all of our hormones. It gets them out of our body. So if our liver isn't working well, if it's kind of clogged up and it's a little old and it needs a little like plumbing work and cleansing, our hormones can get backed up and we see symptoms. So all of these things work together to what we like to call the endocrine system. And I think, and hopefully you've been reading these little boxes here. So endocrine system means it's all of this stuff involved in growth, development, metabolism, nutrient regulation. That's a really important one too. Our nutrition is huge with all of our hormones. And to bring our overall homeostasis, that just means balance. So this system of these glands sends hormones, right? It starts in the brain, but then it goes down to these organ systems that I've talked about via the circulatory system. And here's the cool part, that essential oils, the reason we can see so much benefit with essential oils and our endocrine system is that the essential oils are circulated in our bloodstream. They're in our circulatory system as well. So when we put them on topically, they're absorbing directly into our bloodstream, right? And when we inhale them, they're going to our brain and affecting that brain chemistry, which is that start of the endocrine system. And then it sends hormone messengers down to the organs. So just smelling an oil can affect your ovaries. Really, I'm serious. Like it happens in the brain then sends a chemical messenger down to that system. So whether we are taking it internally and it's going into our organ systems via the digestion or the circulation or topically or inhaling, all of those routes that we take in essential oils, they are all affecting through the circulatory system and our cells, our hormones and our ability, or they have the ability to affect our hormone system in a really positive way. So I brought this in, Asha McLaughlin created this with myself, and I wanted to have a visual about what I just spoke about, this symphony of hormone balance. And what you can see of all the great things of the balance that starts to happen And I'm just going to go through, as I talked about it, right? When we support the liver in detoxifying correctly, we have those adrenals, that stress response. So we're supporting our stress response with that cortisol. We make sure our thyroid is happy in its metabolism, as well as our adrenals and our pancreas with our blood sugar regulation and our energy. Now we need at the very base of everything to have that nutritional nourished cells, because that's how all of these systems have the cofactors, vitamins and minerals, to do all of the things they need to do. And you definitely want to put in there, right, correct movement, happy movement in your life with exercise. And in a general way, this inflammation that is happening in our bodies, definitely as our estrogen and progesterone go down in life, a lot of these kind of pathways get turned on a little bit that have more to do with inflammation. And so as you're supporting all these other things we've talked about, that inflammation goes down, and then our ovaries and testes, our estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone are supported. Okay, so I want to start off with a big shout out to cellular nutrition, allowing our cells to have the baseline, just the baseline of adequate nutrition at that cellular level. So we have something called the Lifelong Vitality Pack. It is a 3-pack. You can see the 3 bottles right here of incredible cellular nutrition. So if you go through and look at, we have 3, the Microplex, the XE Omega, and the Alpha CRS. And that, just briefly, that the Microplex is a whole food multivitamin and mineral complex. We have this patented glycoprotein matrix, which basically makes it, that's that whole food part. And what that is allowing you is for much more bioavailable and absorption into the cells when you have vitamins and minerals delivered in a whole food format. We have omega oils from the land and sea, and definitely things like vitamin D3, astaxanthin, extra things in this. It is a brilliant combination. And then the Alpha CRS is powerful in its polyphenols, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatories. It's 19 different ingredients. And together, all 3 of these are providing you, I love that down there where it says it's 12 servings of fruits and vegetables. I don't know about you, but I don't get 12 servings of fruits and vegetables most days. I try, but it doesn't usually happen. And so to have this as this foundational support to help all these other processes of detoxification, removing hormones from the body that need to, the metabolites after they've been used up, we need to get those out of the body because they can cause harm. There's so much about this baseline of nutrition that is important in our overall hormone balance. So that is why I'm starting with that. So that is kind of a premier recommendation for hormone balance. Now I want to go through and I'm going to highlight and talk about different products. If anyone wants to take notes and take them down, I have a slide at the end, which is kind of a little bit of an overall protocol. And I'm taking you through these and a little bit of information on them about like why they're so great. And but I know a lot of everyone coming here is new and it might feel like a lot of products. So the end, I'll have the slide showing you the recommendation of kind of where to start. But there's also people who are a little bit, they've been using the oils for a little bit. So they want a little, like, what's my next oil to use? So I'm giving a couple of options. Okay. I hope people aren't, I'll tell you kind of start here as your number 1. And then these are ones you would like write down on a wish list about what you might want to substitute in the future. Because one thing I love about using essential oils is that there's so many different options, and depending on my mood and how I'm feeling, I can grab for a few different oils for the same effect, the same kind of process that I'm looking for support in my body. So caring for your liver, here's definitely the LLV as a start, but I'm really going to highlight these 3 things. So lemon stands for basically a citrus oil. The citrus oils all have a lot of the same ingredients, so you can really interchange them. And so working with a citrus oil daily, we like to say in your water, in your beverages, is a great way to do that for supporting your liver. This other combination blend called Slim and Sassy, they market it first for losing weight, which some of us want to do. It really helps the body come into a metabolic balance. I love the subname, the Metabolic blend. That is truly how I see it. This is a blend that very much supports our blood sugar and our healthy metabolic response. And then Zendocrine. Zendocrine is a blend that is geared towards supporting our liver and our healthy detoxification. All right, so I have a couple little slides. Here you go. Here's some take-home points about what's so great of the citrus oils. You can do it in your water bottle. You can put it in your glass of water. I like to do about, there you go, 3 to 4 drops, and about, depends on what your water bottle is, 16 to 24 ounces. Its main thing is helping support our liver to promote we produce more of our own glutathione. This is a main constituent in our body in all of our metabolic responses. It's really important. And so to have something rather than trying to take in glutathione, which is a large molecule and it's really not easy. You can't just take easily a supplement of it. We're helping our body to stay regular in a gentle response by just sipping throughout the day, this gentle, easy detoxification and support of these pathways. It's wonderful for our mood and elevating our spirit. You can see the other things that it also is doing, side benefits all throughout the day. So that's kind of like a LLV, and the citrus oils are part of that. We always talk about this daily wellness baseline, and here it does. It definitely affects our hormone balance. Now, Slim and Sassy, this metabolic blend, it does a lot of things, but I like to focus here on the metabolism balance, the cravings. It will help reduce sugar carb cravings. It's one of the ways it helps us with weight loss, but really it's helping support our whole metabolic pathways and our blood sugar. People use this. I think I have another slide I'm going to show you in an actual kind of weight loss support system, and if they're really actively on a protocol, so there's a higher amount they use it. I like to use it about 2 to 3 drops 2 to 3 times a day. This is the oil you're always going to see in my purse. I carry it around with me. I have it in the morning after I brush my teeth to give that initial boost to everything. I have it before or after I exercise at that 3, 4, 5 o'clock time when you're craving sugars. If you're craving coffee, stimulants, things like that, reach for this instead. It will be super helpful for those cravings. And after a meal, there's peppermint in it. You can see all the things. It's ginger, peppermint, cinnamon, lemon, and grapefruit. And it will help clear a palate. There's just so many ways. Now, when you use it in a more specific towards, hey, I want to help bring my body into a better weight balance. That's really what we see happen. Now, I'm going to tell you the trick to that. The 2 things I have seen the most bodies make a metabolic shift when they need to, when there's some extra weight and they would like that to happen, is when you combine the Lifelong Vitality Pack and the Slim and Sassy together in a specific protocol. So you're taking the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you're drinking enough water, and then for not a super long time, up to like 6 months, you work your way up to this, take about a week to do that, is 5 drops 5 times a day is the maximum dose. That is for a weight loss protocol. And you can do it by taking the actual oil right under the tongue. People will do it in their water. I do it right under my tongue. I just take the oil and do the couple drops right then and there. I always advise people to look in a mirror the first time they do that, so they can kind of make sure it's getting in and just kind of get used to how fast the oil comes out of the bottle. And you can also take the soft gels. So it comes in a soft gel version, and know that each soft gel is 5 drops of the Slim and Sassy blend in that. So it's equivalent in that way. I've seen a lot of shifts happen when people just combine those two things together. Zendocrine. I can tell you all about it, but here it is. I've made up this slide, and you can look, these are the oils that are in this detoxification blend: tangerine, juniper berry, cilantro, geranium, and rosemary. Look at all the different ways and actions that they are working, especially with our liver and our all of our pathways of elimination. And this is an incredible support to be working with that hormone response and those detoxification pathways and supporting our liver. Now you can, again, it comes in an oil or a gel cap. And so taking a gel cap daily or through a period of time or partially through your cycle, part of in a protocol, that it can be incredibly supportive. I actually like to use the oil and have it be one of my, it's kind of my, one of my real go-tos of my morning on the bottoms of the feet. So most mornings on the bottoms of the feet, I'll layer a couple of oils, and sometimes I'll alternate them as different things are happening in my life. But I have my baseline oils that are kind of, they're always something that I like to use and my body can use for support, and Zendocrine is one of them. So it's part of my morning routine of rubbing it on the bottoms of my feet. And then I also take a little bit and I rub it right in my belly button. That's another, the belly button's kind of like a little zone that's like, gets it right in. It's a wonderful energetic spot. And now we get to talk to about some of the oils you put on topically for support. I love all of these oils. I just have to say that. I'm going to talk about clary, neroli, and rose. And this is, you say, okay, what oil would I get first for topical use? I would recommend clary. This is a whole blend. You can see all of the oils. It's a beautiful blend that are in there for our hormone support. And some of them you might recognize if you know some herbal, some herbs in terms of that are known for kind of general like hormone support and our whole cycles, like Vitex, Palmarosa. But it is one that I use every single day. So the way I use this, and you can see the things, it's for kind of anything associated with your cycle. So it's something that you can use in the moment when, you know, oh, I'm having cramps, I'm having bloating, PMS. You can use it topically, and I just roll it right on the lower belly. I'll do it either in a little kind of zigzag, or I'll do a circle around my belly button, but focus on my lower belly. And I like to rub it in then with my wrists. So I'm kind of getting the oil in here too, and it's absorbing. And here's the entryway of, right, all of the meridian lines in Chinese medicine. So you rub your lower belly, like your belly like this, and you get that going in. So you can do that in a acute situation, or, like a cramps or bloating, PMS. But I do it every single day as part of my morning routine for that whole support of all of my endocrine systems and the hormone balance, and definitely for estrogen and testosterone support. And so I do it on my lower belly every morning, and sometimes before night. You can do it twice a day. And then I'll show you a slide where I do a whole lymph routine. And there's some lymph formulas that are wonderful that you can get into down the line. But I have kind of like a quickie hack for that I do with Claricom. Okay, I'm going to move on from Claricom. So that would be your first one I would recommend as that part. But I also have to do a shout out and talk about kind of the next two oils I would recommend for topical support of the abdomen, lower abdomen, on the area for our support, and it is rose, and also I had to put neroli. And a lot of the things we say here about rose, we'd also say about neroli. We're applying to that lower abdomen, relief from menstrual discomfort, promoting regular ovulation. Both of them very much are helpful for cramps and for all of these, and to be working daily. And either one, you could also do neroli to over the heart, but rose has a specificity for this emotional balance. Well, so does neroli. Gosh, I mean, sometimes it's a personal preference, right? And then you start adding them in, and as you get to know these oils, it's the juicy, fun part of this, is you get to go for one versus the other in the morning in your routine, and getting in touch with how are you feeling, and they have personalities and the sense, and who would you like to who would you like to interact with in that support. Rose has a lot of other uses. One of its main claim to fame, besides being incredibly supportive to our hormones and our emotional balance, is also that it is an incredible high-level antiviral, antibacterial. So if you have sensitive skin or young children, one of the things we recommend for any kind of like working with a cut scrape, or when you want to have that kind of antimicrobial support, is using the Rose Touch and the Melaleuca Touch together. And it's very, very gentle, but powerful. So I just wanted to add that in. So our phytoestrogen complex. So I don't go into too much detail. I'm going to read this. This is a really great addition to add in for all types of support through your cycle when you're having symptoms of heavy bleeding, cramping, painful bleeding, and then also leading up towards perimenopause and menopause, and our hormones declining, and helping to balance that out, because it's a natural form of estrogen-like therapy. It is not actual estrogen. It assists to balance not only the deficiency, but also the excess. So it's amphoteric in that way, where it can help when you don't have enough estrogen and things are declining.
That are really worn from Tess.
Oh, someone got muted. I don't know who that is.
Because
if everyone can check their status of mute, please. Thanks. So it can help where if you want a little bit of support of a gentle, healthy estrogen effect, it'll come and do that. But if you have too much of a blogged up liver, like I talked about, and those estrogen breakdown products, those metabolites are kind of clogging and causing inflammation, which happens a lot. We have too many outside estrogens. We call those xenoestrogens from things like plastic, and a lot of other chemicals. Those are harmful to us, and the phytoestrogen can take the place. I call it like seats on a bus, are like receptor sites. The phytoestrogens will take up those seats on the bus instead of those harmful metabolites or those harmful xenoestrogens. So it works in a lot of ways to support us. And it's definitely something you want to think about, and you can talk to any one of us for adding it into your hormone support protocol. And then a shout out that we do have a bone nutrient complex. It is a fantastic blend. It has a lot of the cofactors that are needed in it. So it's not just a big calcium blend. It has magnesium, it has boron, it has selenium. And it's if that's something where you're wanting to bring that into your support, we have a nice product of that. And I did want to do a last shout out around adrenal support on top of what I've spoken about. There's something called Mito 2 Max. And this formula is really supportive, and I love it. I work with it through my perimenopause every day. It's something that I use indefinitely. Almost all these products I use daily. in my whole cycle. I love that it has cordyceps and ashwagandha. It has, I'm thinking now, I don't have it. Do I have it in front of me? Hold on, because sometimes people know what these ingredients are and sometimes they don't, but it has a high level of acetyl L-carnitine, HCl, alpha lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, and then this wonderful extract, some really incredible antioxidant and polyphenol anti-inflammatories, and then the adaptogenic herbal blend. So I did want to do a shout out for that. And then here is, I don't know if people are taking screenshots. If people can do that, want to take it. If you notice everything I've spoken about, this is a really great way to kind of look at, oh, if I want to really support some hormone balance, what would that look like? It looks like taking LLV, AM and P, the full dose AM and PM for nourishing the cells, working with Claricom daily, and then you can pulse in Neroli or Rose for that hormone, that topical applications, AM and PM. Slim and Sassy, 2 to 3 drops, 2 to 3 times a day, or taking the gel cap for blood sugar and adrenal support, and then working with citrus oils in your water daily. And then in addition, right, seeing if you wanted to add in either the phytoestrogen complex or the Mito 2 Max, working with Zendocrine, either in the gel cap or the oil. And then I didn't even talk about frankincense, which of course, 2 drops under the tongue, AM and PM for that anti-inflammatory and brain support, very helpful through menopause and perimenopause for the inflammation that starts to affect our brain. If you have anyone or anyone's talking about brain fog, all of this is going to help, but you definitely want to add and have 2 drops of frankincense AM and PM. That is a huge piece of the puzzle as well. So do you guys want me to go into the next couple slides and then we do questions at the end?
Sure.
Well, I want to, this is such a magnificent, I'm so excited to rewatch this, but this has been such a magnificent, thorough overview of our hormones and women's health, et cetera. And one of the things that I love that you're driving home is I want to say complex, but it's not difficult, but the interwoven, like you call the symphony of all of nothing can be isolated, right? So when you're talking about a hormone, it's going to impact the whole rest of our body if it goes unchecked. And the other thing I want to, this is so important. It affects all of our hormones, our skin, our blood, inflammation. This is such a huge, I know this, but sometimes it's nice to even be reminded. I'm all inspired right now. And the other thing I just want everybody to know is don't wait until something goes awry to start doing these kinds of protocols. This slide really sets the tone for prevention.
Yes.
Prevention. So I really want to drive that home, because I think what we do on a daily basis is what's most important.
Yeah, Diane, and active, intense hot flashes are not a natural response necessarily. That's where there's more inflammation going on. Gentle ones. But when we see people doing this protocol, women, myself, so many of us included, and the lifestyle that we speak about, basically this whole oil and natural lifestyle, the change, perimenopause, menopause is so much more gentle, and sometimes not even hot flashes come. That's because there has been support leading up and throughout the entire process. So a lot of the symptoms associated with menopause are not actually symptoms of balance.
I just wanted to quickly piggyback on that and say that I come across a lot of women, older women, who feel like they're done. Maybe they've crossed the golden bridge, they're not menstruating, but they're not sleeping and they can't regulate the heat in their bodies. And they think this is normal and they live like this for the rest of their lives. There's so much we can do. Josie has pointed out so many ways to bring balance. It's not normal to have these symptoms forever. And thank you, Josie, for pointing these out.
And I had a slide and I took it out because I was worried about time. I just wanted to say what I meant. I want to add this in because everyone knows this about me with the Claricom. Remember I said I was going to like tell you guys about it and then I didn't. Sorry. Is one of my hacks is so I love to do lymph blends, and there's fun formulas, DIY, making them up. And so it's part of my morning routine where I get the blend in my hands, and then I do 3 gentle strokes down each underarm, and then I stroke over. It's just, like this basically before my putting on. I like to use then the doTERRA deodorant on top. And it's a gentle, fun daily practice, but over time, having that repetition and that daily practice, it's very effective for helping your lymphatic tissues, especially all around the breasts. And so one hack that I did when I was traveling once, I didn't have my DIY formula, was I love this. doTERRA makes a body mist spray, and I roll the Claricom right onto my fingertips. And then I do 2 to 3 squirts of the body mist, and that's what I use. And I love that. And you smell really good. And you can also make a DIY formula. So I wanted to throw that in because lymphatic support is really important for our breast health and our hormone health. Thanks everyone. Oh, Asha and Diane, that was fantastic. All right, I'm going to continue, and we can maybe, if there's questions at the end, I just have a couple other slides. I wanted to show people an example of, so there is this women's health kit that in the loyalty rewards. So when you are purchasing below wholesale with loyalty rewards, they have these cool kits that are available for LRP, loyalty rewards products. And this is one of them, and it's a Claricom bone nutrient and phytoestrogen, and you get a little bit of discount off if you're going to buy them separately. And we're just showing here that, like, oh, you could do that, and you could purchase a rose. Rose is one of the more expensive, it's the most expensive oil, and they have it in this touch version, which makes it a lot more affordable. And it lasts definitely a while, and we do use it, judiciously, many of us. And so it's a really treat. It's such a treat to get for yourself. And you can sort of see how that adds up in the dollars, and then the point value. That's how you kind of look at what the points you're going to get with your loyalty rewards box. And if you order over 125 points, you get the free oil of the month. And then you're also getting those loyalty rewards product points. So if you're at 10, 15, 20%, 30%, that's where we all kind of max out and live at the 30%. That's the number. You take the point value, the 125, and you times it by 30%. And that's how many free points you are going to receive from buying this. And that gets added on. And that is, one of the biggest aspects of why the loyalty reward system is so awesome. And a couple orders, probably 3 orders, and you can get yourself a free rose touch. So it's pretty cool. All right. And this is what you're going to look and feel like when you do that protocol. Just wanted to say, no, add that in. And I wanted to just, in these calls, we like to go over and talk about what happens with doTERRA. There's different ways of participating in our community. And we know that people who are going through this process sometimes are curious because they know that, persons like Diane and Lori and myself, that we work with this as a business, and that, and the questions start saying, well, what does that look like? So really there's people who are coming into the lifestyle, the community, the wellness, loving their oils, and we call that live the wellness lifestyle. And then there's this other category of person, which is where a lot of us who are in the third category, who are actually working with this as a business and making financial streams of income, a lot of us started as sharers, which was we were living it, loving the oils. And when I love something, I can't really shut up about it, and I share it, and I just start doing that. And so that is, if you find yourself like just sharing it with all your family, your friends, and when you're going to any of, you're learning from us and you're like, oh my God, Cynthia needs that. Like my daughter needs that. My mom needs that. Yeah, that's how I felt too. That's where we call this in a sharing situation, where you could, with a little bit of fun and effort and getting people together, you could start to get your products paid for. And we actually have a little thing where we call that doTERRA healthcare, because nowhere else can you get this level of products. I can tell you, as a naturopathic physician, these products are at the same level as my doctor line products, and our patients have to buy them at retail and they don't get a discount. Not only are you buying them at wholesale, you're getting them with the loyalty rewards program at below wholesale. And then with some sharing, you could get them free or start to earn a little bit of side income. So that's a wonder. That's just, I love that that is possible for people. And then building is really starting to like build on that and do a little bit more and have intention around starting a business with this, and a small business. And deciding and working with the person who introduced you and part of our team about how do you want to integrate this into your life, and what kind of income would you like to make. A little bit of things about doTERRA, the company itself, and why, that's one thing I know I had to think about, was really, why would I partner with this company? I have the opportunity to partner with a lot of different companies. And for me, a little bit of research and diving into it, I was so thrilled to partner with this particular company, particularly with their co-impact sourcing and how they ethically and sustainably source all of their oils. And they work directly with farmers, and they give on-time payments. They are kind of like going above free trade. It's incredible with how they do that. And so that is like everywhere they're going, and the places that they move into all around the world to source these oils, they make a profound difference. And so besides them being just a debt-free, like a good company to go into business with all of these markets growing, this debt-free, they are the largest essential oil in the company. Doctors and hospitals, they're being used all over worldwide. Besides these business things, that piece for me was so huge about the ethical and the heart alignment. And then when, if it's a business, you want your efforts to sustain. And most other companies in this kind of direct sales have a retention rate of about 12%. And so you're kind of continually having to generate customers. Whereas doTERRA has a retention rate of 65%. This is just entirely different. So the efforts and the connections you're making and the community you're building sustains. We've all been around for 10 years. All of us do not want to be without our oils and our community. So it is really a beautiful community and company to partner with, and that I think our greater team and all of our different teams are really, really wonderful community to partner with as well. And then people have these questions, well, how do I make money? How much time is involved? Could this work for me? What is the next step? And I'm just going to do a little bit here of, it could be, and it can be as simple as you share the oils, you put them on other people, you're enthusiastic, you really like other people, you like interacting. So that's like sampling. You also kind of just educate, whether you bring them to the things that, we're doing, and then you learn so much that you start to bubble up and want to educate and do some classes yourself. you enroll people. That is super simple online. I started out, we would have these paper forms and we would all do it, in person on paper, but now it's pretty virtual, and you support them, like inviting them to these continuing education classes and bringing them into the community. It's kind of that simple. Let's see. And here's a breakdown of generally kind of like, oh, what if I want to, get my oils paid for a sustained period of time? You're going to kind of work into some sharing and some classes, and it would be like 3 to 5 hours a week. If you're looking to supplement your income and have it be a side stream, part-time would be 5 to 15 hours a week. And then I actually want to replace my income. I want to do this, Josie, like you did, full-time. You're looking at 15 to 30 hours a week. And then what's your next step? So identify what kind of person you are, where you are in that, 1, 2, or 3, and, attend we have a business presentation and we have some great recordings. So reach out to the person who has invited you and they can send you we have a 12-minute, 15-minute kind of quick recording. And then you can do a personal business overview where you kind of get into more intimate breakdown. And then we also do 3-way calls with some of the uplines and the person, like me or Louise or Lori, some of us, Diane, and the person who invited you here. And we can all get together and really kind of break it down. So there's a lot of ways that we can go deeper into how would this work for you best, and, what kind of questions would you like answered? So there you go. Wanted to just do a shout out because I know people are always curious. And next week, we're almost at the end of this. And next week we have oils for pain management with Ariana Harley, and that is going to be fantastic. She is an incredible presenter and she has a lot of pain. So not only does she know about it, like, from here, she also has worked with it personally a lot. And I always love that when a presenter has both. So are there any questions that are coming up in the chat, or anyone?
Not really questions, but I want to make sure everybody knows about our cleanse that's coming up.
Oh, yes.
Asha, do you want to hop on and talk about that since you're one of our leaders? Asha there. I'll put a link in the chat so you can learn more about it. There she is.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Josie, thank you. Thank you so much for that information, and also for that wonderful sort of overview about what the options are with doTERRA as a business. It's just very refreshing to hear. Everyone has a different take, right? Everyone has a slightly different filter, and I just really appreciated what you said. So yes, we have the cleanse coming up. Who else is excited to reboot their systems? I know personally, Josie just mentioned how powerful it is when we have personal, palpable experience of working with the products. And there's just something about rounding out the second year of this pandemic where I was just like, please, I'm so ready to reboot my system. And what I want to say is this is the perfect opportunity. So whether you are new or whether you have done several cleanses and you're very experienced, everybody's welcome. And there's a place for you. Okay? So if you want to learn a little bit more about what the cleanse is, what the opportunities are, and how you'll be welcomed and how you'll be cared for, I'm teaching a class on February 20th. It's 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, so it's 1 o'clock Pacific. And you are welcome to join me for that. And I will post the link, the Zoom link for that on Visionary Leaders along with a graphic. So this is a wonderful class. You can invite anybody that you think needs a reboot or might appreciate this. And this could be cleansing on an emotional level. It could be someone who's had a really blue time, emotionally blue, they're down, or they want to boost their immune system, reboot their gut. There's so many reasons why we might want to cleanse, many different reasons. And Josie can speak to that too, or Dr. Rose. But anyway, I just wanted to personally welcome you. Dana Schwartz, the amazing, talented acupuncturist, clinical herbalist, she is joining me. We're leading it together along with we're peppering in our doctors through the month, and it goes mid-March to mid-April. So you all have time to prepare, to get the products you need to support you, but definitely tune into the options. The weekly Wednesday call gives information. There'll be information on Visionary Leaders and Essential Wellness Facebook groups and my class, which you'll get a big overview.
I wanted to say, just give a shout out to, it's so perfect that doTERRA has this 200 PV promotion, because the citrus oils are so important with our cleansing. And if you're going to be doing a cleanse, so for Asha and Dana and all this, like, we offer this free. I don't know about you, but there's nowhere else. There's nowhere else that you get the wisdoms of, like, not only physicians like myself and Dr. Rose, and we've had Jenny Chavankian in the past, but the wealth of wisdom with Dana and Asha. Asha's bringing her 30 years of yogic cleansing and all of her breath work and all of her oil expert, just all of it, like all of that coming in, and we give that. So all you have to do is purchase your products. I can tell you, but as a naturopath, I led cleanses for 10 years, and you had to purchase our time and our service, the package and the products. And so to be able to do that this month, to purchase spend 200 points and then you get 4 free citrus oils when you do that. So it's a wonderful month to get ready for cleansing. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I posted a link there that you can check out. There's some like a list of the products that you'll want to make sure that you order, and there's some other information if you want to learn more about the cleanse. I'm gonna wrap it up here and say thank you so much to Dr. Josie Schmidt with your expert hormone advice, and I invite you to come back next week to hear from Ariana Harley. And thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with us.
Thank you, Dr. Josie.
Thank you.
Was so fabulous. And
Thank you, everyone.
yeah, it was great. And I am super excited about this cleanse. And just, one other point, and I'm sure Dana will talk about it, is, springtime is the optimal time from a Chinese medicine perspective to be working a cleanse specifically as it relates to your liver. And so obviously that's a big part of opening up those detoxification pathways. So really, I'm looking forward to sharing this with everybody I know. I'm excited.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Where is that?